Low tops are a dime a dozen. There are plenty to choose from, and you probably don't need me to tell you what to get. However, the challenge here was to omit Nike, Adidas, and even Vans from the list, which I might add was no easy feat. Yes, pun intended, bad joke, whatever, I liked it. So here we go. These are 7 of the best low tops right now without Nike or Vans or Adidas. And yes, I do say it that way. I'm Reggie Casual, let's get it. All right, so topping things off, we gotta go with a classic that doesn't get a lot of love, and that is the Onitsuka Tiger Mexico 66. Real ones know. If you're tired of seeing panda dunks all over the place and you wanna switch it up a bit, the Mexico 66 got you. It's versatile, has a retro edge to it, can be paired with a lot of different styles, comes in a variety of colorways, has amazing collaborations, won't break the bank, and you don't have to wrestle people to get a pair unless, of course, you are in Japan, where the Onitsuka Tiger store seems to be filled all the time. The great thing about the Mexico 66 though is that it has this uncanny ability to go with upscale designer looks and street looks effortlessly. It's also simple and has that iconic yellow and black colorway that seems to never disappoint. While slimmer silhouettes do well with the 66, try them with a wider silhouette or a wide to taper one. The accents that they can give off are pretty amazing. So definitely try that. That's my little tip for you. Now, if you're going for the ultimate retro sneaker though, you probably can do no better than the GAT or the German Army Trainer. Now, this sneaker was made massively popular by the Margiela version in recent times, but the GAT has been around in its current form since the 1970s. And while it may seem that the Margiela one is the only one to get, there are several brands that do the GAT, so you don't have to spend an arm and a leg just to get a good pair. If I were to describe the appeal, I would probably say that the GAT is the best beater sneaker ever. I mean, it just looks good worn out and with a few creases and cuffs. Which, by the way, sounds like a fantastic list. Like the best beater sneakers ever. Yeah, that one's definitely going in the pipeline. Anyway, the GAT goes well with those kind of looks. You know, the looks that mix in a bit of a vintage, military, and workwear elements. Yeah, those kind of fits. But it also has far-reaching versatility, making it a pretty good option altogether. So you're not really missing with the GAT, but it does have a distinct appeal, aesthetic for a particular style. All right, I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna talk about a brand that I've actually never talked about before. Never. And that is Hoka. Now, Hoka has been on the rise the last few years. While it has been very well received by the comfort community, I'd say it's only recently been lauded by the fashion community, particularly with its Clifton L suede model. Now, this sneaker is like an Asics running shoe had a marriage with a New Balance upper and created itself. I messed that all up, but you kind of get it. As such, it pairs well with those 80s and 90s normcore styles that are so heavily prevalent today. They are everywhere. Not only that, it comes in a range of colorways, so it shouldn't be too hard to find a pair that suits your particular needs. Now, to be honest, I was surprised by this one myself. I know that the other Hoka shoe, the one that shall not be named, is massively popular. But it certainly doesn't have the same style factor as the Clifton L, especially if you're into those commuter / normcore styles. So I wasn't gonna put it on here because everybody wears it. And it needs to fit into an aesthetic that, you know, is understandable by the fashion community. You get me there. I couldn't do it, I'm sorry. Perhaps one of the most popular lows today isn't even a sneaker. This is not a sneaker, this next one. But Wallabees are incredibly popular. No other brand has made more of a mark on Wallabees than Clarks. Now, Clarks moccasin-like Wallabees' recent popularity is also due to the fact that 90s styles are in an extended comeback. Seriously, the 90s styles, 80s styles, what seemed like a short trend has become like an international phenomenon. So Wallabees are in. Now, Wallabees themselves were made increasingly famous by the Wu-Tang Clan, you know what it is, Cream, get the money, and has since become legendary among the hip-hop community. Its recent iteration in style is no different. However, many people are modifying their gritty, oversized, baggy pants pairing with Wallabees with a more tailored, wide setup. I can dig it. But it doesn't stop there. Wallabees are also popular among the classic casual menswear enthusiasts, as they also have a refined look to them due to their material makeup. As such, the Wallabees have everything you want in a shoe: culture, comfort, versatility, colorways, and availability. It ain't an FBT, that's for sure, but it won't leave your wallet in ashes either. So it's a good choice. Next up is our "it's super popular in Japan" entry, because you know we always gotta have a Japan entry. And that goes to the New Balance 327. For many of you, this comes as no surprise. New Balance already has a good range of classic lows like the 574, the 550, and the 996. Hell, I'd even say for the athletic style lows, you could complete the circle with New Balance alone. And the 327 is just icing on the proverbial cake. As a modernized version of the 320, the 327 has a retro feel, but also gives off futuristic vibes as well, making it straddle the line delicately and, more importantly, stylistically. It's basically a chameleon of sorts. It can pass with 90s looks, gorecore looks, and even simple standard looks. It's this distinction that has made it one of the most popular New Balance models in Japan, if you care about that at all. That, and it has a platform like sole, which are quite popular in the country always. It also has plenty of colorways, making it a clear winner for those that want to be a little bit more playful when pairing it. While we do see far more ladies, at least in Japan, rocking this shoe, it does go both ways. So fellas, you shouldn't be, don't be scared. Just go both ways. As such, it's a solid choice and it's readily available. You can't go wrong with the 327. It's amazing. There is a saying, a minimal sneaker is an absolute must in any closet. That's what the style gods out there will say to you. And while I'm not in the business of telling people what to wear, those style gods aren't necessary. They are on to something. Minimal classic leather sneakers are probably the most versatile sneaker anyone could ever own. And there's a lot to choose from, but our pick has to go to the Axel Arigato Clean 90. Now, we didn't just pick this because it gives me a chance to say arigato, but it's actually a really dope sneaker. Quite simply, for the Clean 90, there is nothing wrong with this sneaker. It should offend no one. They're distinct enough to not be mistaken for a Stan Smith, subtle enough to go with any outfit you could think of, the quality is pretty damn good, and they have a distinct way of scratching the variety itch. A little bit of embroidery, maybe some color on the heel tab a bit. It's nice, it's interesting. Now they can be pricey, but they seem to go on sale quite often, so there are no complaints there. Seriously, this sneaker is just good. I mean, it's not like a head turner or anything, but it does save you on those days where you just can't decide what sneaker actually works. And also it prevents you from using your white Air Force One like all the time. I guess the best way to describe it would be that the Clean 90 is the sneaker you probably take out on a first date if you're a classic man. Or woman, for that matter. You could be a classic woman. Yeah, that didn't go over too well, but we're just gonna keep it rolling. All right, so our final choice for today, as far as low tops are concerned, are the Salomon XT6. Real ones, again, they know. Put it this way, the XT6 is what happens when a sneaker that naturally fits into one style, in this case, Gorpcore and Hikercore, like my boy Antoine would say, and becomes so much part of the cultural zeitgeist, it stretches beyond its station. It can do more. The XT6 is the sneaker that put Salomon on the map in many ways. It has a massive amount of colorways, it's easily accessible, and most importantly, they are comfortable. While many sneakers often sacrifice comfort for style, this is just not the case for the XT6, as it remains true to its outfit in being a shoe specifically designed for hiking. Literally, you can go hiking with these in your best duds and you'd be fine. And did I mention it's relevant, as it has been for the 10 years of its existence. And that's saying something about a budding legacy. When we talk about legacy, XT6 is on its way. Any sneaker that makes it to 10 years being the style flagship for a brand definitely needs some recognition. The Salomon XT6 is the final on this list for that reason. It has something for everyone. And that's the list for you. But of course, we gotta go with Reggie's personal choice. I should get some ladies to sing that part, because I'm not doing it justice. I had this like image in my mind of what that's supposed to sound like. It just didn't come out right. Let's get on to my choice though. All right, so one of my favorite lows of all time is the Asics Gel Lyte 3. It's basically my SB Dunk. It comes in a massive amount of colorways and has a very unique, but shouldn't be unique silhouette. But perhaps its most notable element is that split tongue in the front that just wraps around your foot ever so nicely. Now this feature makes it like a hybrid between a slip-on and a lace-up, and while there are a ton of jokes about this aesthetic I can think of right now, and I'm sure you can too, I'll leave it up to you. But what I will say is that it is one of the most comfortable sneakers I've ever worn, and you'll ever wear if you try it. It's all things modern but retro, versatile but not boring, and has a culture behind it. And that's not bad for a brand that often gets passed up in Asics. But again, real ones know all too well, and they're probably cursing at me right now for even talking about Asics like this. They truly don't want those sneakers to be hyped at all. But no worries, the Asics Gel Lyte 3 will definitely be around. It's an amazing sneaker. You should definitely try it out if you have not tried it out. But I hope some of you actually have, because it'd be crazy if you didn't. And that is it, but this is not an exhaustive list. I didn't name all the lows you could do. So fill it up with your own choices in the comments, or tell us your favorites from this list. Or better yet, give us another list to explore, something that you'd like for us to talk about. Support us on Patreon so we can keep these lights on, right? So we never have to read an ad read again. Seriously, we're trying to get to this point where we don't want to actually read any more ad reads, right? Ever again. Done. Fine. I know some of the ad read people are like, really? You're gonna do that? If we get enough people to support what we do, we wanna support the brands that we would love to work with, but we don't wanna have to keep on doing it all the time. So your support goes a long way in achieving that goal. It doesn't really cost that much, it helps us out a ton, and it keeps the lights on, and we got a lot of other stuff locked in on the back end that we're looking to grow. So your help goes a long way. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info in international fashion, culture, and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I will see you guys in a minute.